जी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा Sri Sri Gaunitai ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Vaishnavis? Maitreya Uvacha, the great sage Maitreya said, Dhruvasya, of Dhruva Maharaj, Cha, also, Utkalaha, Utkala, Putraha, son, Pitari, after the father, Prastite, departed, Vanam, for the forest, Sarvabhauma, including all lands, Sriyam, opulence, Na Aichat, did not desire, Adiraja, royal, Asanam, throne, Pituhu, of the father. Translation: the great sage Maitreya replied, My dear Vidura, when Maharaj Dhruva departed for the forest, his son, Utkala, did not desire to accept the opulent throne of his father, which was meant for the ruler of all the lands of this planet. Please repeat. The great sage Maitreya replied, My dear Vidura, when Maharaj Dhruva departed for the forest, his son Utkala did not desire to accept the opulent throne of his father, which was meant for the ruler of all the lands of this planet. Sloka number 7. Saha Janmana Upasanta Atma Nihisangaha Samadharshanaha Dadarsha Loke Visatam Vitatam Atmanam Lokam Atmani Sa Janmano Pasantatma Nisanga Samadarshanaha Dadarshaloke Vitatam Atmanam Lokamatmani Sa Janmano Pasantatma Nisanga Samadarshanaha Dadarshaloke Vitatam Atmanam Lokamatmani Sa Janmano Pasantatma Nisanga Samadarshanaha Dadarshaloke Vitatam Atmanam Lokamatmani. Vaishnavis. Saha, his son Utkala, Janmana, from the very beginning of his birth, Upasanta, very well satisfied, Atma, soul, Nihisangaha, without attachment, Samadarshanaha, equiposed, Dadarsha, so, Loke, in the world, Vitatam, spread, Atmanam, the super soul, Lokam, all the world, Atmani, in the super soul. Translation. From his very birth, Utkala was fully satisfied and unattached to the world. He was equiposed, for he could see everything resting in the super soul, and the super soul present in everyone's heart. Please repeat. From his very birth, Utkala was fully satisfied and unattached to the world. He was equiposed, for he could see everything resting in the super soul, and the super soul present in everyone's heart. Purport by Divine-Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The symptoms and characteristics of Utkala, the son of Maharaj Dhruva, are those of a Mahabhagavata, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 30th sloka. Yo mam pasyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mayi pasyati. A highly advanced devotee sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead everywhere, and he also sees everything resting in the Supreme. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 4th sloka. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. Lord Krishna is spread all over the universe in his impersonal feature. Everything is resting on him, but that does not mean that everything is he himself. A highly advanced Mahabhagavata devotee sees in this spirit. He sees the same super soul, Paramatma, existing within everyone's heart, regardless of discrimination based on the different material forms of the living entities. He sees everyone as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Mahabhagavata, who experiences the Supreme Godhead's presence everywhere, is never missing from the sight of the Supreme Lord, nor is the Supreme Lord ever lost from his sight. This is possible only when one is advanced in love of Godhead. Om Ajnana Timidandasya Dhyananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Tadjivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesya Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is a new chapter after seeing the description of Dhruva Maharaj going to the spiritual world. The next chapter is entitled The Descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. So before going to the forest Badarikashram in the Himalayas, after ruling the world for 36,000 years, Dhruva Maharaj chose his successor to rule over the earth. That is the duty of the king. Before he retires, he should select somebody to take over the kingdom. And he had chosen his son, Utkala. There is no mention here of the name of the mother, but it can be mentioned maybe some other place. And Utkala was certainly very highly qualified, son of Dhruva Maharaj. We can understand that he imbibed all the great qualities of Dhruva Maharaj. But to such an extent that actually he was completely detached from any type of material position or possession or respect and so on. So he was not interested in becoming the emperor of the world after Dhruva Maharaj. So even though he was chosen by his father to rule the earth, but he did not desire to accept the opulent throne of his father, and therefore he was not he did not become the next king. So here also in the Shloka 7, the qualities of Utkala are described. Not only was he completely detached, because detachment can be also the quality of a person who is impersonalist. They praise very much quality of detachment. I have nothing to do with this. These are all false. Jagan Mithya. So Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, that is a formula of the impersonalist philosophers. But Utkala was detached, not because he considered the world as false, but because he was completely satisfied in devotional service. So he did not aspire for any material position or respect. That is the great quality of Utkala that he took up from Dhruva Maharaj. So it says here, he was totally equiposed, for he could see everything resting in the super soul, and the super soul present in everyone's heart. In order to understand this consciousness, Prabhupada is referring to a Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, sloka number 30. Yomam pasyati sarvatra, sarvam shamai pasyati, tasyaham na panasyami, not shame na panasyati. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, a person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is a manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. At this stage of Krishna consciousness, beyond self-realization, the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee, and the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists, and in that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Chulita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundara Machinta Guna Sarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So that was the condition of Utkala. We can just have a glimpse, little bit of understanding what was his elevated consciousness. Pure Krishna consciousness means at every moment the devotee will think of Krishna. As Srila Prabhupada was telling, that there was never a time in my life when I was not Krishna conscious. I was always thinking of Krishna. This is really wonderful devotional consciousness. We are trying to practice sadhana bhakti, following some rules and regulations. That also we have to be careful not to miss anything in between. And this is the higher stage which is destined for anybody who has practiced Krishna consciousness, sadhana bhakti, for a long time, or for a short time, but with very great, what should I say, this, without any duplicity, and with great determination. Prabhupada commenting sometimes on the Dhruva Maharaj life, that he could get darshan of Lord Krishna within 6 months of meditation. He was telling his disciples, any one of you also, you can have darshan of Lord Krishna within 6 months. But you have to be very sincere and determined. That type of sincerity and determination is just beyond our understanding. It is something which is very rare, certainly, very rare. But Srila Prabhupada wanted that each one of his disciples should have the opportunity to develop pure Krishna consciousness, even beyond the sadhana bhakti. On several occasions, just like here it is said, that a pure devotee sees Krishna everywhere. He sees everything within Krishna and Krishna within everything. The super soul is present in everybody, everywhere. And similarly, everything is resting within Lord Krishna. He is the ultimate origin of everything, and at the end of complete devastation, everything enters again into his body, into his self. And Lord Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita how his two energies, inferior and superior energy, are everywhere in the material world. So that is also, this is Lord Krishna's energy. So we understand from different angles of vision how we can think of Krishna everywhere, at every moment, even in the material world, considering that the material world is a combination of Krishna's energies, the Prakriti and Jiva. And he is everywhere. Krishna is everywhere throughout his creation. But to maintain that consciousness, that is very difficult, is only for very few those who have reached the point of pure Krishna consciousness. We are trying our best by way of intelligence and remembering some of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is actually everywhere and everything is at his command. But spontaneously, without any extraneous effort, a pure devotee is always thinking of Krishna. Now, Srila Prabhupada, we remember that he wanted certainly his disciples to reach to that level of pure Krishna consciousness, thinking of Krishna everywhere, at every circumstance. Just like especially when Prabhupada was taking disciples in a morning walk. So, morning walk in Bombay, on the beach, no? On the one side you have the ocean, then you have the sand, and this is very beautiful. And Prabhupada used to walk there on the beach for about 1 hour. And at one point, Prabhupada is asking his disciples, what is this? No? Going so on the right side was the ocean, and Prabhupada is pointing in the ocean. What is this? Disciples are surprised. Why Prabhupada is asking such a simple question? And one disciple is asking, Prabhupada, this is the Arabian Sea. Prabhupada said, I know. I'm not asking that. I'm asking, what is this? What is it? Then disciples are breaking their heads. And then after some time, one disciple says, Prabhupada, this is Krishna's energy. Remembering, no? Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Bhumi Rapo Valonhailo, Nalo Kammano Buddhirevacha. Ahankara Itiyam Bhinna Prakriti Rashtada. So, Bhumi Rapo, water, Apaha. So, water, certainly, that is Krishna's energy, separated energy. So, Prabhupada was very happy to hear this answer, at least. So now you can understand this ocean, very big body of water, that is Krishna's small portion of Krishna's energy, separated energy. And how the ocean is behaving, it will not go beyond a certain line. According to, every day it will go up and down, but it will not cross this line. Otherwise, such a huge body of water, it could, without any direction from superior authority, it would be able to devastate the entire land. It doesn't do that. So the ocean is not only the Krishna's energy, but Krishna is directing the ocean. Don't cross this line. And the ocean is obeying very faithfully, following Krishna's order. So when we, in this way, going with Srila Prabhupada on a morning walk, we can hear this type of teaching, which may not be exactly found in the books, but when we are in this direct association, we can learn many practical aspects of the philosophy which may enter into our mind and we can remember forever. So another instance, Prabhupada also on the morning walk, there was trees, and in a branch of the tree there was a nest, a bird's nest. In the bird's nest there was a small bird, baby bird, and that baby bird was just moving like this, and when disciples had come to that point, that bird started to fly, started to come out of the nest and flying and then landing on the land. So Prabhupada is asking his disciples, what is this? What is this? Baby bird. He just took birth a few days ago from his mother, and suddenly now he is flying. So what is this flying ability? And the disciples are thinking what to tell Prabhupada. No, I should not make myself a fool. But anyway, so somebody said, Prabhupada, this is animal instinct. Animal instinct, Prabhupada said. No. Why you are telling animal instinct? Krishna is in the heart of everybody and in the heart of that small bird. And Krishna is teaching. Krishna is impelling the bird to exercise. You have wings and you can exercise. In this way, the Lord Krishna within, as a super soul, is impelling the bird to fly away in this manner. Not just animal instinct. That is atheistic view. See, the modern scientists, they have given us so many ideas, atheistic ideas about nature. Nature is just moving on its own. They have given laws of nature. What is this laws? What are these laws of nature? When we speak of laws, we must immediately understand there's a lawmaker. There's like government laws. They don't exist by themselves. They are government laws because there is a government. And the government means ministers, there's a prime minister, and assembly is there. They are enacting the laws. The constitution is there and so on. So law means lawmaker. Immediately we should understand this. But for the atheistic scientist, law of nature. How nature is making laws? Nature is a dull nature. It cannot make laws. Laws are made by God. Krishna is giving laws to nature, and nature has to follow. In the Upanishad it is said, why the wind is blowing? The wind is blowing out of fear of Krishna. Out of fear. Wind is blowing. Everything is working in that manner. The earth, the water, the fire, and so on. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna in many slokas explains his dominion over nature. Just like Prabhupada very often quoted that, what is that? Rasoham apsu kanteya. We drink water. We think, this is water I'm drinking, I'm getting quenched. We don't think of Krishna at that time, but we should. Those who are trained in Krishna consciousness, we should try to remember that everything that we do, drinking water, Krishna is there. Krishna says, I am the taste in water. Rasoham apsu kanteya. So Krishna is not only water, Bhumi Rapo Naravayu, he is also the property of water. That is secondary, Jnanam Vijnanam. He is a property of all the elements. The water has a particular taste, but that taste does not belong to water. As the atheistic scientists would say, what is the taste of water? They will analyze. They'll put water in some laboratory machines and so on and try to understand what is the taste of water. Krishna said, I am the taste of water. The taste does not belong to water. It belongs to me. I have given that taste to water. Every element, everything has some property. Every animal, every species of life has some, they call it instinct. But that instinct does not belong to that species. It is Krishna's instinct. Krishna is giving his own quality to the particular animal or object or anything. Everything is from Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything can act and made possible by Krishna. If somebody can understand this and always meditate on Krishna in this manner, then he can reach the point of spontaneous Krishna consciousness. For him, Krishna will never be lost, and Lord Krishna will never lose such a devotee. So that is the... And Srila Prabhupada also quotes from 9th chapter, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadabhyakta murtina. Lord Krishna is spread all over the universe in his impersonal feature. Avyakta murti. So, Krishna is everywhere through his various energy. Parasya Sakti Vividhai Vasuyate. His energies are displayed everywhere. So in one sense, Krishna is everywhere. But we understand also that he is personally present in his own planet. Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuta. He is always present in his abode, Goloka Vrindavan, and he expands himself unlimitedly. Eko Bahusyam, by his personal expansions, to his prakriti, by his energies, and including the jivas, and so on. So everything is the expansion of Krishna. So Krishna says that although I am everywhere, at the same time also, I am not to be found anywhere. So that is the puzzle we have to try to understand. And Prabhupada explains that Prabhupada gives the example that the government is everywhere. You step outside, even here in this temple, sometimes police is coming to see what's happening. Or outside, there's the police and the other government servants are there. And so in one sense we can say the government is everywhere. But the Prime Minister is not everywhere. He has his own office in New Delhi, and sometimes he go to different places. But he cannot be found everywhere at the same time. That only Krishna can do that. But this is an example that the government is everywhere. If you violate the law, immediately you can be arrested. You run your car on the right side of the road, police will stop you and you will be fined, and so on. So immediately there will be government law to stop your activity. But the head of the government is differently situated. Prabhupada uses this example. This is a rough example, but that Krishna is also like that. He is everywhere situated, but at the same time he has his own abode. So the Bhagavatam, who experiences the Supreme Godhead's presence everywhere, is never missing from the sight of the Supreme Lord. This is possible only when one is advanced in love of Godhead. That is the very important aspect. It is not just an intellectual exercise. Of course, at the beginning, we don't have any Krishna prema. We are just trying to understand who is Krishna, where is he, and what is he doing, and so on. What is my relationship with Krishna? Apparently, Krishna, we don't see him. Just like the Russian astronauts, they went out of space. When they came back, some people were asking them that it is said in the Bible that God is in the sky, very high in the sky. Did you see God? God is there in the sky, in the outer space? No. We have not seen God. No. God is not there. There is no God. No God. So they gave the conclusion that because they have not seen God in outer space, so there is no God. That was their conclusion. Communist government propaganda. So a devotee will never think like this. So how to think of Krishna always? The formula is not simply by intellectual exercise, but by gradually developing pure love of Godhead. So how we are? We are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. At the beginning, it may be like a mechanical exercise. 8 rounds are over. See, I have another 1 hour. Now let us finish, and then let us complete my 16 rounds. Then everything will be over. So mechanical, trying to chant like this at the beginning, yes. But gradually, we should expect that by chanting with attention and thinking of Krishna, chanting the names of Lord Krishna, Hare Krishna, with great faith and dedication and attention, then gradually a love for Krishna will develop. Then we shall be able to chant the holy names of the Lord in ecstasy. That will be ultimately, gradually, we should come to that stage. So similarly, as Utkala here, seeing Lord Krishna everywhere, how is it possible? It's not intellectual, mechanical exercise, but there is a philosophical foundation. But beyond that, the achievement of love of Godhead, that makes it possible to think always of Krishna every time, everywhere, in all circumstances. Just common examples maybe. There, a mother has one son, but that son, after completing his studies, went to America, and the mother is always thinking of her son who has gone there. And sometime in the house, she sees, one shirt, this is one pant, this is my son. So immediately, she will see not only shirt and pants belonging to her son, she will see the son. Immediately, her mind will go to America. What is my son doing? How is he doing? And so on. She will think of the son. So, out of love, that is the result of loving exchange that we cannot forget at any moment. So the pure devotee is like this. Because of his love of Krishna, he can never forget Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.